Can you hear me now? No, hang on. Oh, I think you can hear me now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Everything's going wrong tonight. Hopefully you can hear me now. Yes, you can. Thankfully. I don't know what's happened. I didn't test my sound before I started again, and something somewhere has gone wrong. So my sound is actually probably out of sync. Apologies for that. But I've got to fix it because we're going to have problems a little bit later on otherwise. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? It is Sunday the 10th of... what day is it? Sunday the 10th of October 2021. It's... Well, tonight we're going to be chatting about... Or we've got people to send in pictures of their own allotments and their plots. Show us your plot, as we are calling it. Before we get into that, I'd like to go through what I've been up to over this last week. Bit of a busy week. I haven't got Roxy in here with me tonight. Work, but yesterday we went down the allotment, Roxy and I, and we... what were we doing? Trying to remember now. Well, I've had an email from our council this week, and they're starting to go around and do the checks that they do on a... Well, they're meant to do right throughout the year, but they're only doing it this time and in the next couple of weeks before we go into our renewals. So got an email saying they're going to start the check. So I went and done the allotment just to check on everything and do a few bits and bobs. Good job I did, because one of my compost bins has pretty much fallen apart. So I had a bit of a sort out with that. And then came back today, sorted that out, used the compost. And then what did I do today? Today I sorted out my greenhouse at home. Basically, the tomatoes have collapsed in on themselves. So I tied those back into a bit of a better position. And I felt it was time to get rid of the cucumber plant that we had in there as well. I think it's really coming to the end of the season with the cucumber plant. I'm just seeing if we can, seeing if I can find out why the sound isn't working. I think I can see why. Bear with. There we go. Right, I'm just going to switch the audio back over onto what it should be. And you can let me know if you can hear me. Which one is it? Here. I know you can hear this. Why isn't that going out? Let's have a look. at that. Sorry, I know this is a bit of a problem because I've got loads of videos. I've got loads of videos. Oh, I know why you couldn't hear me. That's why. And now if we go to this, sorry, I need to get this because the videos, you want to be able to hear the videos that I've got playing for you. This time it's going to work. Yes, 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 yes. Got it sorted. Got it sorted. Right, let's go see what we've got in the comments and who has joined us quickly. So Adrian has joined. Hello to you. By the way, I haven't got the phone line working tonight either. Everything's going wrong this evening. Anna Jones, good evening to you. Hope you are well. Oracle Odds Allotment, good evening to you. What else have we got? Turbo Streamers joined. Good evening to you. Hargrave Gas has joined. Good evening to you. Rebecca Hawkins, good evening to you. Philly SPB, only getting on now, so don't know what happened, but good evening, everyone. We're having technical issues as always, or it seems to be happening. Evening, Mr. Suggett from Stuart Jackson. Good evening to you. Ernie, a sunny evening to you, Richard. Hope you didn't catch anything. Unlike Paul Vobesy, we wish him a speedy recovery. Yeah, I heard he was a bit unwell. I know I'm all good. I'm very well here, actually. Richard Goldin is also joining us, who warned me about no sound. There's always something, isn't it? And Digwell is saying looks like a 1980s kung fu movie. Well, hopefully I should be back in sync now. Let's just keep going and through. Amanda Joy has joined. Good evening to you. Stuart Reynolds has joined, and this is in the Facebook group. Anybody watching in the Facebook group, I may not see who you are due to the way Facebook works. So please just let me know who you are in the comments. Stuart Jackson, another busy day then, Richard. I've potted on strawberry plants today, pricking out lettuce as well. Fantastic, yeah. Facebook user, we too have a puppy, and great for digging on the allotments. He certainly is that. And it's McGowan. Good evening to you. I've just came in from the garden after turning my compost bins. Yeah, that's something I had to do today. Well, I had to dig out my compost that had collapsed, and what wasn't composted down went back into my compost bins. And I've decided I'm going to build some more compost bins on the allotment. So what else have we got? Also taking up my tomato plants, all 9 of them. It's certainly getting to that point that everything has to be done. Good evening, everyone from Beatrice. Good evening to you. Loud and clear now. Fantastic. Fantastic. So hopefully everyone can hear me again. Turbo Stream. This week I finished off my leaf mold bin using UPVC edging I removed from the plot. Funny enough, I've been thinking about a leaf mold myself. I've got 2 wire cages down on the allotment that I'm going to fill up with leaves in order to make leaf mold over this year. Just got to go get some leaves. It ain't going to be a problem. There's always plenty about. But yeah, I certainly think we need to make the most of these leaves. You must be better and you're nearly in sin. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on there. And Digwell, a good reason for semaphore. Yeah. I was almost tempted to put up signs saying what I'm saying. Anyway, we are here now. First of all, I have got the first video that's been sent to me that's came in from Digwell Greenfingers, aka Steve, who is in the group at the moment. So which one did I put it on? It's to do with what we were discussing last week. So that's the button. Let's watch this one and we'll come back. So there we go. We were talking about microgreens last week, and Digwell Steve, he got on and sowed some microgreens. As you can see in that video, there was some pretty quick results. But we sowed some on our show last week, right here in the studio. Let's have a quick look and see what's been going on with them. And as you can see, let me straighten up that camera because it's a bit screw with. This is the fenugreek, and we've only got a few that have germinated, so it's a little bit slow. And the basil has barely done anything. You can, the camera doubt will pick it up, but that one, and there's a couple like that that are in the very, very early stages of germination. Now, I don't think that's anything to worry about. I reckon by next week they will be ready. The reason I think they're a little bit slow is that they've been in this shed and it's been a little bit cold this week. So gotta worry, don't worry about it. We'll be fine for next week. We'll keep referring back to it next week anyway and see how they turn out. It's not the end of the world. Like I say, they are quick. And they are tasty. I do like microgreens. I won't go too much into it. We covered that last week. How's everyone else's? Did anybody else sow any microgreens last week? And how are they getting on? And also let me know what you've been up to in your own allotments and your own gardens in the comments. Or if you want to zap yourself in, you can do so. By using the link that's going up in the chat right now. If you're watching in Facebook group, you may not see it, but if you're in the Facebook page or the YouTube channel, you will see the link. Rebecca Hawkins is saying, looking forward to tonight's videos. Now, Rebecca has actually sent me a video, which I'm just trying to get onto this computer at the moment. Once it's on, will hopefully be one we can throw in or show this evening as well. But we've got lots of other videos as well. I sowed lupin seeds along with microgreens and spring onions. TurboStream has been busy sowing more seeds. Lupins is something I keep meaning to sow, actually. I've got to go find some of the edible lupins. It's been very slow tonight. This week I've finished off my... Oh, no, we've read that. I am lucky to have masses of half-composted leaves by the bottom gate of our garden. Well, I know my parents' house, my mum and that is, if I pop around there, their house backs onto a park, and I know there's loads of leaves there every year. I won't have a problem getting any of those. I'll just go there one day with a few bags and fill them up. Idaho Garden Girls joined. Good evening to you. Hello, everyone. I'm here, but making pizza sauce, so can't participate. Sounds delicious. Please do. I know you're busy, but if you can share us your pizza sauce recipe, that would be lovely. And Adrian is saying hello to Idaho Garden Girl as well. Right, so with that, shall we get into some of the videos that I've been sent in? Now, this first video that I've got, it was actually sent to me in picture form. So I cobbled together a little video, and this has came in from Ian Beddoes, who's hopefully out there joining in tonight. Sorry, that was the wrong one completely. I know what I should have done. It's this one. there we go. Just a few photos that Ian Beddoes sent to me for this week's conversation. What I love about Ian, he does that all in his back garden. And you probably saw there was some little structures or oddities scattered around his garden, such as the school crossing sign and a few other things like that. I thought that's a fantastic idea to add a bit of interest to a garden, to allotment. Something I like to do. I'm just not very creative in that same way. Let's have a quick look at the comments again. Been doing a bit on my cousin's plot. He hasn't been up much lately. Don't want him getting in trouble with the council. Well, that's very nice of you, Ballycillian allotment man. I think there's a lot to be said for going out and helping people on their allotment. We know what the councils can be like. Like I said, I know mine are going to be doing the inspections over the next couple of weeks. So I had to make sure that I had got it all done and checked over, ready to go. And they're only doing it at this time because our renewals are coming up. So I've just made sure my allotment is pretty much on board. It meant I didn't get my garlic and my onions in yet, but that's something again for next week. Stuart Jackson, we sowed microgreens at school this week and intend to do mine at home after school this week, as well as sowing every day last week with the children. Fantastic. Microgreens, I think, are a big hit for many, many people. God knows I love growing microgreens. A great way, I think, getting food quick. Even though you don't get a huge meal out of them, it's just something nice to add to the plate. Turbo Stream is the local village trust drops lorry loads off every year. Well, actually, I think that's brilliant that the local village trust does drop off the leaves. I think councils should be dropping off leaves or wood chippings a lot more than what they do, because you know what, they've got to dispose of them somehow. I think a couple of years ago, it was now, the council dropped off loads of wood chippings from where they've started these roadworks just to get rid of the wood chippings. I loved it. It was great. We used it in the allotment a lot. And I used it all on my paths. It got used up. If only the allotments would do that more often. Next, we have Oracle Ards Allotments. I've been planting onions and garlic, not much else. Well, you're a step ahead of me. Mine are waiting to go in. Wanted to get them done this week, but I also had to get the beds ready. And in fact, on tomorrow's podcast, on Monday, I'm going to be talking about how to grow onions and garlic ready. On the podcast. Anna Jones, great. That's for Ian's photos. That's fantastic. And Digwell is saying the same. Nice one, Ian. Love the tomatoes. Hopefully Ian's watching. I haven't seen him yet. I could be wrong, but he normally does join in. Annie McGowan planted out some tough bull onions, garlic, winter density lettuce, lamb's lettuce, and purslane. The slugs are enjoying my young calabrese, and my others went to seed. That's a good lot of seeds to sow, actually. Lamb's lettuce, purslane, tough bull onions, garlic, winter density lettuce. Slugs are always so annoying, but they're just something that we have to live with from time to time. Turbo Stream. I'm obsessed with collecting as much composted material as I can store. That's actually funny enough. My sort of thinking. I've emptied my 2 compost bins that I have on the allotment, and I've only really filled up 2 beds, and I've got a lot more that I need to fill. So I think I need more compost bins, and I also need to get more organic material to fill them up. So I'm on the scrounge for as much as I can get, is my way moving forward. At home, I'm able to produce plenty of compost. Stuart Jackson, I have the garlics and onion ready to go in. I just haven't had time this week. No, same here. I've been trying to get mine in for the last few weeks. Roxy has taken up my time. The building work has taken up my time. And now this council inspection has taken up my time. But I'm not worried. We've got plenty of time to still get those in. And actually, it has been a bit warm, so it might start them off onto a bit of a good start. of course, says, you want any tips, Richard? Just ask. Please do send me any tips that you have. That would be great. I could always like to hear other tips. Hargrave Gas is pleased to hear Ian does it in his garden. I thought that I was the only one without an allotment. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. That's why I try and garden in my garden and my allotment as well. You know, not everybody has an allotment, not everybody has a garden. I've got both. I'm greedy, so I make the most of it. Cornish Heaven has joined. Sorry I'm late. Lovely to see you anyway. Not a problem. Turbo Stream, next year will be a fully mulched plot, hopefully to reduce the weeding. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, mulching everything and trying to make the most of it. Adrian, the full situation seems to have settled down. It certainly has. It certainly has. Let's... What's the time? Yeah, let's cut off to another video. Now, this time it comes in from Amanda Joy, who I have seen this evening, and we saw her allotment a few weeks ago. Let's see what's happened now.
Hi Richard, Amanda here. So I'm going to do a little plot tour. I'm going to start actually by showing you this little bed of pumpkins that is an extension to my plot. It was a spare bit of land in the communal area, so I thought I would fill it with something Halloweeny. Here's my half plot 1, and then there is my half plot 2. So I'm going to show you around. You can see that I've started now clearing beds and over there as well, and manuring, and the soil looks great now. I have still got some stuff in the ground, so I've got a few pumpkins there. Here, this is my biggest one this year, but very small for an Atlantic giant. I've got some mini pumpkins, a lovely little baby boos in here. I'm going to see if I can find one. I did have ransacked it a few times for the children on the plot, but they're very cute. My strawberries in there, I keep getting the odd ones still. Nasturtium. I've pulled out all of my sunflowers. It looks a sorry state of affairs down there now. Have still got a little bit of action in the polytunnel with some cucumbers. My lemon cucumbers are still going strong. Peppers, my luffer, and just got a few little random peppers here. I've got some sunflower heads drying, my butternut squash stash, some seeds that I'm going to grow, actually some veg grower ones there for my membership. As we walk out, oh yeah, you can see down here that we had a casualty with the wind this week, unfortunately, and that involves some sunflowers and my lovely arch, which is snapped at the bottom. So it's going to be a job today to see if I can rescue it. It's probably going to be a little bit shorter than it was before. Still got a few things in the ground like carrots, some cauliflowers, but everything is sort of coming to an end. Last time I did a video, I showed you my second plot, so it is starting to come along, slowly but surely. Got my seating area here. This is going to be wildflowers. I've got a burn pile over there. I was really lucky that one of my allotment neighbours found a greenhouse on Marketplace for free, so he took me to collect it and just sort of starting to build it now. This is going to be some fruit bushes and fruit trees. This bit here I've actually given to one of my plot neighbours because she needed a little bit of extra space, so she's got that strip in the shed. And then at the top, this is going to be, I'm not sure actually, probably a veg patch, because my bit for growing extra veg was going to be there, but I think the greenhouse is going to be taking over somewhat. So I've made a bit of a makeshift compost bin this week, and there's probably going to be some vegetables, some strawberries and stuff going in there. So yeah, that's me at the moment. It's a lovely sunny day in Leeds, so I think jobs for today are going to be to fork this bit over that my neighbour has just rotavated for me here, and probably to make this path look a little bit more respectable. And then I've actually got half of a trailer's worth of manure that I need to move, that's currently blocking a path, which, you know, is a sin in the allotment world, and I'm probably going to move it there for storage, but that's quite a tiring job, so there'd be quite a few probably talk and coffee breaks. So yeah, nice to talk to you all. I'm looking forward to seeing your videos, and I hope you have a lovely sunny day like the one that I've got in Leeds today.
Well, that was Amanda. Thank you very much for that video. I've got to say, what a nice, tidy looking plot. Certainly makes me very, very jealous of seeing it. I wish I could. I'm not a tidy person in the slightest. I'm really a messy person, and I want to be tidy, but when I see things like that, it just does make me inspires me to try and do that again. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get a bit tidier. Now, I had an interesting discussion this week actually with my neighbour on that side of the house. He leant over the fence the other day. He was nice. He was nice about it, and he just sort of said, "Oh, we're getting a few brambles coming to their garden from our side." And it was behind. We got a wood store where I've got a load of wood for our fireplaces. I store it so we can be burned. And I said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get behind there this weekend and clear it out from our side and make sure that they don't go over." So that's what I did today. Actually, I went behind the wood store and tried to clear out any of these brambles. But when I discovered the brambles were growing, well, underneath the fence. Well, they were starting underneath the fence, so they were on the border, not necessarily on my side. But it's something I've got to keep an eye on. Don't want to fall out with our neighbours at the best of times. Doubt we will, but something to always keep an eye on. So let's have a quick look at the comments again. Grew squash, mashed potato for the first time. Have to say they tasted lovely. Very close to real mashed potatoes. Yes, I grew those squash plants last year and they are delicious. They do mashed potato and boiled potato. I think they're from Thompson & Morgan and they do taste really good. I think I did that on a little video last year, but yeah, really good. Rebecca doesn't have an allotment either. She grows it all in her garden. Can you start garlic and onions in the pots if not in the ground already? Yes, you can. Yes, you can absolutely start garlic and onions in pots. In fact, many people I know do that. I prefer to get them in the ground just because it saves time. Stuart, have you ever tried to grow your garlic in a school in water too, so the kids sees both ways it grows? Oh, so that's a good question, Stuart. Have you tried growing it so you can see the roots grow? I just have a tiny veg patch in my garden. No allotment from Anna Jones. Well, there we go. Just goes to show there's not everybody has an allotment. So that's fantastic. The Turbo Stream. I tried to grow veg in my garden. It is too dark and full of slugs. Well, interestingly, what I found with my garden is that everything grows better. I don't know why. Same soil as what we have on the allotment. We're probably shadier here, if anything. Perhaps that's why, or perhaps it's the fences creating a microclimate. A bit like Turbo Stream, it's too dark and full of slugs for him to grow veg. Amanda Joy, you may have spotted me nearly falling over in that video. It's a daily occurrence. Happens to the best of us. Yeah. Rebecca, what a fabulous plot, Amanda. Absolutely. What a fabulous plot. Anna Jones, it looks amazing, Amanda. It does look amazing, doesn't it? Brilliant. I love viewers' videos. Well, we've got a few more to go as well. And yeah, they're great. I love getting these videos to show off everyone. Turbo Stream looks good, Amanda. Beatrice looks great, Amanda. Digwell Green Fingers, brilliant, Amanda. Adrian, looks good, Amanda. Amanda says, thanks all. No problem. And Digwell, most of my onion sets start off in cell trays. So that's in reply to Stuart Jackson's question a little bit earlier on about whether or not we can sow seeds, sow garlic and onions in pots to plant out later. I know many people do that, and as Digwell just said, he does it himself, certainly. So, yeah, yes. We'll give it a few more minutes and then we'll go into the next video. I know got a lot to get through tonight, so people probably aren't going to want to zap themselves in. But if you do want to zap yourself in, the link is going up in the chat right now. Sometimes I swear I need somebody doing everything for me as like a producer. If you see this place, I've got everything in front of me, all these buttons all over the place to do various things. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, my neighbour, he asked about these brambles, but they're not coming from my, well, they are coming from my side of the plot, but they're actually coming from the bit in between. I know he's got a patio, so I've just got to, I cleared it out today, and I've just got to make sure I keep on top of it next week, over the next few, moving forward. The trouble is I've got all this wood from our fence panels that we've taken down, the old shed that we burned a lot of last year on our open fireplaces. We want to burn more this winter, especially with the fuel prices going up and everything. We're going to be using our fires a lot more. So I've got to make sure I burn all this wood and clear it out the way. Now, I've got another video from somebody who kind of sent it in by accident. He didn't watch last week's show. He sent me an email saying he was sending it in. But I don't mind because it works really nicely with this week's theme. And this comes in from Stephen Ticehurst, or Plot 110 Sussex, as he's also known on Instagram, I think it is, and YouTube. I don't know if he's out there today, but let's play his video. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure if that came to an end. I thought it did, and then there's another little bit seemed to come in. We got the idea. I interrupted that. I think. Oh, never mind. That was a great little video, though, wasn't it? You know, I like the cinematography of going on. I can hear some barking going on out there, so I don't know if I'm about to get a visitor come in. But yeah, lovely little video again from Stephen. Thank you very much. And some lovely, lovely shots just going on. Now, I've been to Stephen's allotment. I can say it's a tiny, tiny plot. But, you know, you can pack in a lot in a small spot like Stephen has done. Just got to use every inch of space. I'm going to have to pop up there again quite soon and do another little podcast up there pretty soon, actually, I think. Stuart Jackson, we do grow plants in jars or plastic bags so the children can see the roots. But with the new gardening success plan from Lee, aka the Skinny Jean Gardener, we will be doing more science with our gardens. This week we will be checking the soil pH. So yeah, funny enough, there's a chance on October the 31st, which is a Sunday, Lee might be in this shed with me. Hopefully he's going to make it. Obviously, everything can change between now and then, but it's penciled in. He's going to be here. And as it's Halloween, I think we're going to be talking about pumpkin recipes. So please do get your pumpkin recipe ideas ready for that. Adrian, I have piles and piles of wood, but no fires to burn on. Previous owner covered up 2 ingle hooks. See, that was something that I wanted with this house, is the ability to have open fireplaces so I can burn some wood, save some money, and all that wood ash we use on the garden as a good source of potash. Goes into compost bins, is sprinkled on the garden. We use it as much as we can. And because we only burn wood, because, well, we can always get hold of plenty of wood. And it's free. If you can get the right sources, it's free. Quite often, it's recycled or no use anymore. My old compost bin that fell apart today will be burnt on the bins once I cut it down, just because otherwise it's a waste. My 2 neighbours at the bottom of my garden have huge trees that have grown from pigeon droppings. They dump their leaves and seed clusters everywhere in autumn. No response on cutting them back. Grr, grr. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because when my neighbour asked me about these brambles, I didn't object one bit, you know. But then, as my wife pointed out to me, we have this, or he has trees and plants on his side that really do come over and take over our garden and cover our fence. In fact, I did a video on it a couple of weeks ago, and we don't ever object to it. We don't ever say anything. But yeah, going the other way, it's a bit of a problem. It's probably different because it's brambles, but you know, give and take, isn't it? Give and take. But yeah, 2 huge trees is a bit of a problem. And if your neighbours your neighbours at the bottom of the garden aren't prepared to cut them down or trim them, then what can you do? What can you do? It's a difficult one, because as much as I appreciate the neighbours want the trees, they've got to work with you on your own garden as well to make sure it doesn't affect you to the point you get annoyed with it. That's my entire philosophy on that, is anyway. Turbo Stream is saying a nice video from Stephen. It was a nice video, wasn't it? Stuart Jackson, another great video. It certainly was a fantastic video. Anna Jones, great video, thank you. Excuse me. Beatrice, great video. Yeah, well, a lovely video, wasn't it? And Adrian, I will be opening Ingle Hooks up eventually. Yeah. But I think this year is where, with that hike in gas prices that we keep getting told is going up, I think a lot of people are going to be opening up their fireplaces where they can. And that tallies nicely in with veg gardening, because that ash, good source of potash, which is good for tomatoes, good for fruits and things. So it is a good source of, if you want to feed your plants and produce better fruits next year, that wood ash. Now, by rights, what you should do is save that wood ash, keep it dry, and then sprinkle it when your plants, your tomatoes, your fruit trees are in growth next year, when they are a bit like when you would use your tomato feed. Personally, what I do is I add all mine to the compost bins, or I'll scatter some over the beds, and that's as soon as it's ready. I don't store it. I don't save it for next week. I just throw it all in the compost bin, mix it up, and that's fine with me. I think it does a lot of good in the compost bin as well. Who was it? Bob Flowerdew said that he believes that wood ash sweetens the compost and produces a better compost as well. I don't know on that, but it's certainly what I do because it's the way I've always learned. Now, what I want to do today is something slightly different. I want to show you what's going on in the Veg Grower Podcast Facebook group. Partly because this is where I normally download some photos from. Let's close that down. And I didn't get round to it today, unfortunately. Now, here, Stuart Jackson is saying the aliens have landed and they are fans of mint, which looks to be that looks like a caterpillar. Stuart Jackson has also used cotton to tie up his chilies. Is that okay? I think it'll be okay. I don't see any problem with using cotton. And there they are before he hung them up. Beatrice, who I've seen in the chat tonight, she has shared these photos. Hopefully you can... Yeah, that's working okay. Shared these photos of her allotment. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Plenty of nice long growth down there. Really well organised. And some beautiful beds. Again, looking very, very tidy. I love the path running down the middle here. I don't know why. Just love it. And there we go again. Some other beds also looking really fantastic. Where did you get these beds from, Beatrice? I really do like those beds. And then here we've got using the pallet collars to make some more beds. Great use. And then what looks like lettuce over here. Lots of lettuce. God knows I like to grow lots of lettuce as well, so I'm pleased to see that. There we go. Back to the beginning. What else have we got? Lawrence is asking, my first time growing a squash called mashed potatoes. They grew great and when cooked are very close to tasting the same as real mashed potatoes. And Beatrice has replied to that. Stuart Jackson again with his photos. And Ian Beddoes, has anybody seen this? He spoke last week of it making a model railway for the grandkids. Look at that. What a beautiful looking thing. There we go. Back to me. What have we got? Adrian is saying, I have a lot of ash from farm fires, which I suspect is no use as plastic was burnt as well as wood and paper. Yeah, the wood and paper would be fine. It's the plastic I would avoid. I would say that's not a good thing to have in your allotment, in your compost bins. I would recommend burning plastic at the best of times. So yeah, not great, but if it's all you've got, it's better than nothing. Cotton or cooking string is fine for stringing chilies. That was in relation to that question asked in our Facebook group from Stuart Jackson. So there you go. Cotton is fine, and or cooking string is fine. I've got to get hold of some cooking string again. I haven't used it or haven't bought any for a while. And it's one of those things, don't use that often, but when you do need it, it comes into its own. What's the time? How many? We've got 3 more videos to go, so I don't want to run out just yet. I'll give it 5 minutes, and then we'll play the next video. Now, I touched on this earlier, what I'm looking to do on my allotment. I'm building a new bed, but I've also cleared out one of the older beds that was by my greenhouse. This was a half bed, shall we call it. It was half the size of the rest because it ran alongside my greenhouse. Now, today I was down there. I put pots and weed membrane down there for the last couple of years, and that worked quite nicely. But today I cleared it out. There's a few brambles in there, which I also cleared out. And I've looked at it and I thought, what I should do next year is fill it up with green waste, garden waste, kitchen waste, and then use that for growing pumpkins in. Now, I haven't grown pumpkins this year, or haven't successfully grown pumpkins this year. Butternut squash has been very successful. I'm looking down on the allotment at the moment, and I've got 2 really big butternut squashes that are ripening up, and they are about as big as my head, to be honest. They are huge. So when they are ready, I'm looking forward to those. But I'm thinking with that half bed and possibly one of the other beds, I'm going to do this a bit like a bean trench where all the compostable waste goes into the bed and you grow into that. I usually do that with my pumpkins and the compost heap. Put my pumpkin into the compost heap to grow, and it works really well at keeping on top of. Basically, I use it because it forces you to water the compost more because you've got to water the plant. The pumpkin, which are very hungry plants, tend to grow their roots down into the compost and absorb some of that waste. And as the compost rots, it creates heat, which also benefits the pumpkin plants as well. And that's what I'm thinking of doing with the beds as well. 2 beds doing the same sort of thing. It produces more compost for me. Well, not compost, but it produces compost in that bed for me, and I'll get to grow pumpkins or beans or something in it as well. So that's what I'm thinking of doing next year with those 2 beds. Anybody else done anything like that for pumpkins or anything like that? Adrian is asking, would any plastic residue be burnt off? It would be, but plastic is basically a fossil fuel anyway, so it would be burnt off. But I personally wouldn't do it. But that's me. It might leave behind something that isn't so nice. But I'm not a scientist or an expert on that. I just go by my gut feeling sometimes, and I just know we always say don't burn plastic, so that's why I wouldn't do it. I get all my string from Wilko, the cheapest place I can find without going on the internet. Do they sell cooking string in Wilko? I've not really looked in there for it. I used to go to Lakeland for my cooking string, but they seem very far apart these days. Right, shall we go to the next video, which this one has came in from TurboStream, and it's another. One is it? Oh, yeah, we've done Stevens. Yeah, it's another plot tour. So let's go have a look and see what's going on TurboStream's plot.
Well, it's show your plot time. So as I started off last time, I'll start again in this corner. So this corner is now green manure, Brasilia, I think is it called, something like that. So that's been sown in 2 sections there. This section was sown a few weeks after that section. And then we've got a row of parsnips there. Behind that we've got leeks and broad beans. These are the broad beans I sowed. I think they were at the end of August, early September. There's a bit of a gap here, but I've also sowed some more broad beans. I haven't shown it up yet. That's the kind of cross between a green manure for the chips, for doing stir fries, and also for hopefully next year. I've got my leek bed, but a lot of them have gone to seed. I haven't done very well with my leeks this year. Did better last year. This is the strawberry bed. It hasn't really done very well. I think I'm moving too early. And then we've got what's left of the brassica bed. Not a huge amount going on there. So we'll see what happens, see what I get off there. This area will become soft fruit next year, I've decided. But the big difference of doing this year is that I'm removing the white UPVC sides. It looks a lot better. You can see just there. I've got 2 more to do. But I think the plot looks a lot more tidy without them. And this is my latest build project. I've used, rather than waste the sides and throw them in the bin, I thought I'd make a leaf mould bin. There's a bit of compost in there, but I'm glad you're going to fill that up over the winter. There's nothing grows in this area. There's a bit of rhubarb down there, and there's a few strawberries behind it. And this is the other part of the brassica bed that's now going to be this soft fruit. So this is probably rhubarb, perhaps, or gooseberries. And I've got an area down there that I grew the orange in. This I'm going to move some gooseberries from the garden. I was given. This area is now tidy. This is all next door's squash bed, so she cleaned that up. So I've raked it all over, and I've also sowed some green manure, Pasilia. So it's looking a lot better. Another job for the winch is to get rid of these two plastic sides there. And then we've got the other square, which is still a work in progress. This is a row of autumn raspberries. There's a bit of junk there which I need to get rid of. It's looking a lot better, the plot. Pleased with it at the moment. Still lots to do, like. This was the beetroot bed. I should slowly harvest all this and tidy this up. This is the other half of the parsnips. And then this is the flower bed. So I've got quite a few flowers now coming across. We've got the sedums there. Look at the red flowers, and they're lovely. We've got some late blooming oxide daisies. There's all sorts in there. There's a cosmos. There's still a few calendula flowering. So this will gradually become an area for wildlife and flowers. Strawberries across there. The middle bit, I haven't really done much apart from put some compost on top. And this is the rhubarb bed, which needs attention this year. Going to move some of the crowns that near the path. They're going to move over to the soft root bed, so I can try and tidy this up a bit. But it's looking a bit of a mess. This is the one area I need to tidy up. And last but not least is this soft root bed, which again, I want to take some cuttings off these, the red currants, the water butts, and all the, this needs to tidy up. All the blackberries keep growing up there, so I want to move the water butts. I've got a repair to do on the shed. And that is my plot tour of my little allotment in Birmingham, southwest Birmingham, not far from the Cadbury's chocolate factory, to give you an idea where we are.
Another fantastic looking plot. Again, I'm feeling very incentivized to go and tidy my plot up right now after seeing these. I feel I'm letting you down, but you know what? These are fantastic. Looks really nice and tidy. Thank you so much, Turbo Stream, for that one. Right, let's have a quick look in the comments. Beatrice, just harvested my first Crown Prince squash. Had some roasted with dinner. Does anybody roast the seeds? Yes, I try and use as much as I can. Crown Prince is probably one of my favourite pumpkins. It's so tasty, absolutely delicious, and I'm kind of against carving pumpkins. Not that I tell anybody else what to do with their pumpkins. If you want to carve it, you go ahead and do it. But I find it very wasteful. So I'd sooner grow a pumpkin to eat rather than carve. And Crown Prince is exactly that. I do roast the seeds, drizzle them with a bit of honey or a bit of chili powder and roast them. Absolutely delicious. I don't use it anyway. The ash, that is. Yeah. That's fine. Digwell, someone please tell Levington to stop plastic in their green waste compost. Levington, if you are listening, if you are watching, please stop potting plastic in your green waste compost. It's upsetting my main man Digwell. You know, it's not good. It's not good. So don't do it. There we go. Hopefully they got that message. If not, somebody cut that audio out or cut that piece out and send it on to them. I have some small leeks in a container. Is it okay to prick them out into the veg bed? Thanks. Yeah, you've got nothing to lose. Got nothing to lose by giving it a try. It might be a bit too late for them now, but you've got nothing to lose. So go and give it a try. I would just keep a few in the container as they are established. And once you space them out, they'll probably get a bit more room in order to grow. Another lovely plot from Rebecca. It certainly is. Lovely to see flowers on the plot. They will bring in pollinators. Absolutely. What I also liked at the beginning, you saw the Phacelia as a green manure. I love Phacelia because it is absolutely fantastic green manure. It reduces weeds. It also brings in the pollinators when it flowers. Watching these videos shows how untidy my garden is at home. Yeah, it is a bit like that, isn't it? But that gives us inspiration to go and do our best. Great Brummy plot. Certainly is a fantastic plot, isn't it? Looks great, Turbo Stream. I definitely need to get more flowers in next year. I only do edibles. And if I do edible flowers, but I only do edibles. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It needs some more tidying before I am happy. I think we all say that. So lovely to see everyone's plot. Yeah, it is lovely to see everyone's plot. And I know I've done this for this week, but please, in the future, anybody wants to send a video in, please do send it in and we can play it in. If you've got a YouTube channel, Instagram page or anything like that, then please do mention it as well. I'm not anti advertising your own stuff. I'm more than happy for you to do that as well. Been to Bourneville a few times. Used to work for Cadbury's. Yeah. Problem sorted, Richard. Many thanks. You're welcome. Hopefully Levington have heard that. Guys, I'm a bit disappointed. I'm not that updated to give you a plot on. These videos are making me jealous. Don't worry, there's still plenty of time to keep sending in videos in for future. Don't get jealous. Don't get jealous. Use it as inspiration, motivation, inspiration. That's why I'm looking at it. It's motivation and inspiration to go and do more. My plot is the part of the old Cadbury estate. It's 8 acres and was set up in 1920. Wow, that's fantastic. Bit of history going on there as well. I agree. Pumpkin, Gaelics, I'm not going to try and pronounce that again. For the first time this year, a great pumpkin to cook with. Yeah, I much prefer eating pumpkins rather than carving pumpkins. I just think, for me personally, carving pumpkins is incredibly wasteful of a food source that we could all be eating. Thanks for the great videos. We've got 2 more coming up. And hopefully one of them is going to work because slight issue, but we'll see. You can eat lots of flowers. Yes, you can eat tulips, or the flowers on tulips are edible in some cases. Lupins, dahlias. There's lots of flowers that are edible that I do try and grow. There's also hostas, they're edible. And there's some types of ferns that are also edible. Do you believe the weather forecast that we will have snow soon? No, I don't believe it because we never have snow where I live. The rest of the country can be covered in snow and it's still none where I live. So no, I don't believe it. I believe it when I see it. On that note, well, not really related, but don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or a like, depending on what you're watching. Don't forget to follow the Veg Grower Podcast on whatever YouTube channel or Facebook page or whatever social media platform you find me on. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you get notified every time we go live. Which is usually the same time every Sunday anyway, but we may do some extras during the week at some point if we feel the need to. I think that covers everything. I've got to say that, otherwise I get told off by both Facebook and YouTube for not saying so. It's nice to see other plots on here. It really is nice. It really is nice, and this is what I like about this and want to do more of. Beatrice, I didn't know hostas were edible. Yes, they're best. The leaves are edible. They're best when they're young, but add a bit of garlic, a bit of olive oil, gently fry them. They are delicious. Really, really are tasty. Bit of a weird one to grow. I mean, slugs eat them all the time, so you've got to beat the slugs. But I highly recommend growing hostas for the edible purposes. Again, then, unless you've got a lot of hostas, you're not going to grow or have enough to feed a family, but just something a bit interesting. I love to dig well, but I have no smartphone, and this is my grandkids' tablet. They set YouTube up for me. So Oracle's looking at being able to shoot a video. I'm sure the grandkids would help one day if you ask them nicely. We usually see snow in Birmingham. In fact, we get more snow than my mate in Scotland. That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. It just the way it happens, isn't it? Ernie, don't worry. I always give a thumbs up before you start. Well, thank you very much, Ernie. It's much appreciated. Right, I want to try Rebecca's video and just see if this one will work. Unfortunately, I didn't have it. I downloaded it just in time, and hopefully it's going to work when we hit the button. Let's find out.
Hi Richard, hi VegPod Army, welcome to my plot. So I wanted to show you around my plot, which is actually my garden. It's split into two areas. The top area up here, as you can see, is my obsession with plants. The bottom area is my obsession with vegetables. So let me show you around. So this area is what we've done ourselves. We put it all in. There was just grass when we arrived at this property with no flowers whatsoever, and we put in this circular lawn, the trellis and the little arch. So that's all my top area. And then through here is my obsession with vegetables and growing things for my family. So here I have some raised beds. Again, there was nothing here when I first came, so as you can see, I've put rather a lot in my plot. 7 raised beds. I also have 2 greenhouses. I started with one, but then it seemed to breed into another. So it's been a really good year on my little plot. I'm not lucky enough to have a allotment in my village because we don't have any. So then I'd have to drive quite a way, which I think would be a bit of a commitment. So I've done these little raised beds. In here, I've got some beetroot that's left over from the season with some nasturtiums. I also have the radish from the Supporters Club with more nasturtiums, which just went crazy this year. I also have my beans in here, but they've finished now, so I've just got rid of those. This one has got some onions in and the chicory from Richard's Club. Here I've got some purple sprouting broccoli. I've never grown this before, so this will be interesting to see how it does. I've got no idea how I'm going. A few blueberries I grew this year. They're turning. In here is the turnips and spring onions, so they're doing quite well. Just some herbs as well there, some thyme. Let me take you around to here. That was leftover cabbage from the season, and some more herbs with lavender, carrots, and some dahlias here as well. And then in this one, I've just put in some rainbow chard, so I'm hoping that's going to come up. Let me show you in the greenhouse. Here, I've just got some leftover chilies, waiting for those to go red still. We're running out of time, but we still seem to be getting a little bit of sunshine. And then along here are just some seeds that I'm growing ready for next year. Coriander, sweet peas are in. My foxgloves, these are from seed that I've sown, and some delphiniums, which is rather a lot, so I'll have to swap with some of you guys because I don't know what on earth I'm going to do with all those. Snapdragons, they're underway, ready for next year, and my cornflowers. And then just at the top there are my geraniums with still a leftover few tomatoes in here. But yeah, that's my little plot, guys. Hope you like it. Looking forward to seeing yours.
Wow. Wow. What a lovely garden. Again, this is just really inspiring me and motivated me to do better. I absolutely loved that. Love the cannas, or the red bananas that were in the front at the beginning as well. Just looks absolutely beautiful and so packed with so many plants. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear the audio on that, and I didn't have a chance to play that before we went live, so I'm going to have to watch that one later to find it out. But Thank you. That was absolutely stunning. We've got one more video from Digwell Green Fingers coming up in just a moment, and that'll be the last video for this evening. I think we've done really well with these videos, I've got to say. And Digwell, of course, he always impresses with what we have. I just discovered I have a lot of damsons. I picked some and about to make some jam. Oh, lovely. Damson jam is absolutely delicious. I really like it. I wish I had some damsons that I could find really tasty. Damson gin is also nice from Beatrice. I'm not a lover of damson gin. Well, I'm not a lover of anything alcohol-based, really, except for cider. But that's because I don't drink anymore. Thermostream, this is proper nice. Yeah, and what a lovely voice. She should be on the radio. There you go, Rebecca. You should be on the radio. Yes, I like it lots. Those neck cages are brilliant. They are, aren't they? I was looking at those and thinking, I could do something like that myself. Looks fantastic. What a wonderful garden from Amanda. Beatrice, I have sloes. I was going to use that for the gin. The only problem is it gets a bit expensive and not good for diabetics. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, I used to make sloe gin every year. In fact, I planted a sloe tree, or whatever tree it's called, I can't remember off the top of my head, so I could make sloe gin. But then I realised I don't drink, so I was making sloe gin for everybody else to give away at Christmas, and decided I'm not going to bother anymore because it is expensive. Gin is expensive, although you could use vodka as well. Lovely Rebecca. Yeah, absolutely. And my hubby made the cages out of scrap wood for me. Fantastic. We have a couple of sloe bushes on the plot, but I think everyone gets to them before me. I need to find another source. Well, if you go for, Beatrice, if you go for a walk out in the countryside, you are guaranteed to come across sloes somewhere around the walk because they grow like mad in the wild. And I've found I've got a particular place where I used to go for sloes because I knew they were always going to be there. They are pretty available if you know what you're looking for. Same as damsons in some way. If you know what you're looking for, you'll always find them. I don't know why they called it sloe gin. It never lasts long. I'll take your word on that. I can't stand the stuff. I don't know why. Alcohol doesn't agree with me anymore, so I don't drink vodka, gin, anything like that. Saying that, last year I did get into some cocktails, and I was making cocktails every night over the winter period. Just one for wife and I got into it, but I had to make them quite weak for myself because I just don't drink. Sloes are everywhere. They certainly are everywhere. I certainly find them all over the place. In fact, I find myself these days driving around and just sort of spotting where sloe trees are or apple trees. If you make cider, you're always looking for apple trees as well. In fact, there's something I want to do or plant again is another apple tree, a cider apple tree, that is. Got one on the allotment that's a few years old. It does quite well, but it doesn't produce enough apples to really make some cider. So I'm thinking when I clear out some other bushes and trees on my allotment, I can order a Kingston Black is the apple tree I like for cider to go on the allotment and produce more cider. It's the only alcoholic drink I can actually drink these days. Don't like beer, don't like lager, just like cider, and even that is very rare I drink. I don't drink spirits either, from Adrian. Glad I'm not the only one. Digwell, wear long sleeves when picking sloes, blackthorn, vicious thorns. Yeah, they really are quite vicious. But that's also why it's easy to spot them when you're out and about, because you look for those thorns, you know there's going to be sloes, and where those thorns are there to protect the sloes and stop certain wildlife from eating all the sloes. I only make sloe gin for Christmas presents for everyone else. That's what I used to do, make it for everyone else. But it just felt a bit pointless. I didn't really know what I was doing, what I was sending out, and if it was any good. Everyone said it was good. I just didn't like it. And it gets very expensive, especially the price of gin or vodka these days seems to have gone up very, very pricey these days, and you need a lot of them. 3 minutes and we'll show off Digwell's next video of his plot tour. I'm looking forward to this one, I've got to say. So we're coming into the months that it's getting a bit colder, a bit darker in the evenings, and it's becoming a bit more difficult to do anything in the garden or the allotment after work, which is leaving me just home at the weekend. And even then, if it's raining or if it's dark, I'm not finding it motivating to go down the allotment. Now, does anybody have any motivational tips that will force them down to the allotment when it don't feel like going in these colder months? That's a quick question I'm going to throw out there that we might carry on next week. But next week's subject, I'm also looking for everyone to send me their let me get my words out. Send me some cost-saving tips that they have to save money in the garden. I saw there was a post the other day from Stuart Jackson making labels out of yogurt pots. That's the sort of thing I want to hear about. Anybody got anything like that? Please do send me it in. Again, photos, videos, or even just by text will be fantastic. And we'll make sure next week the phone line is up and I can see you can call in as well, or as well as zap in. I know not everybody is too sure about this happening, but trust me, it's not a problem. Apparently, you should pick sloes and pop them in the freezer for a day or so before use. I normally wait until we've had our first frost so that they are belted or slightly start to rot and soft before I pick the sloes. That way, I think you get more juice out of them, as I understand it. Digwell, I used to make sloe gin, but the taste is like Benylin cough medicine. It's not for me. It's not for me. I don't like gin anyway, so it's really not that. My father-in-law got me into sloe gin, and he only picked them after heavy frost, so freezing them makes sense. Yeah, that's what I would say. You know, wait until a heavy frost and then or freeze them. I love the taste of Benylin, so that must be why I love sloe gin. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense. Again, I can see where the Benylin, when I think about it, the Benylin, it does taste a bit like Benylin when I've quickly sampled a little bit of it. A good subject, cost savings should foremost. Yeah, that's what we'll do next week. Rebecca, just turn up. Even if you tell yourself you're only doing 5 minutes, you always do longer and never regret going. That is a fantastic tip right there. So keep your tips coming in and thinking about it. But let's go to our final video for the night. We saw him at the beginning of the show as well with his microgreens. It's Mr. Digwell.
Anyone who follows me on YouTube will recognise this picture. It's the banner at the top of my channel homepage. It's well, I've got down there, River Severn down there. That's the Severn Valley, and the wind howls up here. One reason I'm not growing beans this year. Lovely place. Well, okay, guys, this is my allotment at the West End site. This is a council plot. It's only small, as you can see. Well, I hope you can see. Not a lot going on here at the moment. This is where the giant pumpkin and marrow were. So that's just waiting to be sorted out for the winter. Some new kale in there. That kale there is from last year. Beds of brassicas, there's all sorts here. Brussels, purple sprouting, cabbages, cauliflowers. The Brussels up there. And what I've been doing is an experiment with different slug prevention methods. So this bed, and that bed have got a wool mat down. And this bed has got stroach. And they both seem to be working at the moment. This bed will be onions. At the end there was Faraday dwarf French beans. God, they were fantastic. Great yield. More brassicas there, and that's where the pumpkin was. Butternut squash and things here. It's all going to be gone over pretty soon. And more butternut squash down there. A couple of black currants and red currants. Not much, but it's, you know, it's all right. It's my very first plot, so this was a couple of compost bins and a tool store. One thing I want to mention before I leave, I'm gradually getting rid of these wooden beds. And this is what happens. These are only 2 years old. And they're just hidey holes for slugs and things. So they'll be going soon. Job for over winter. Well, moving swiftly on, we're at the Leaf and Ground plot now. This is a privately owned site. 37, 38 plots, I think it is, 39. Again, they're quite small, but very productive. Okay, this plot is totally no dig, apart from the rhubarb at the far end, which I had to dig in. So I'm doing sort of companion planting, all mixed everywhere. Trying not to do monocultures, if you know what I mean. So we got some up there, I don't know there. Leeks, kale, lavender, couple of weeds, and nasturtiums. And when I do weeding, I always leave them where they lie, so put the nutrients back into the soil, you know. A couple of lettuce that have gone over now. One of those French pumpkins that goes all warty. And when I cut down things like cabbages, I leave the roots in the ground, put the nutrients back in. Got some chilies there. That's where the tomatoes were. Another pumpkin going across there. What we got here? Fennel. Do not plant fennel next to any other vegetable. It hinders their growth. Yeah, okay. I've got plenty of things growing. Sunbursts, summer squashes at the end. And here, look, yeah. Very, very productive. A little bit of powdery mildew, but I just get a spray with milk now and again. Not really fussed. They say that mildew, getting rid of mildew, is just down to man's vanity. It doesn't really harm the plant. I mean, look, it's got mildew. Still got brand new leaves growing, look. Fruit. What we got here? Cabbage Rigoletto. They were fantastic last year, huge. And they're interplanted with Paris white overwintering onions. They work well together. More fennel. Oh, look, it's growing next to other things. Candy Crush kale. It's that funny broccoli. What's the name of it? Hang on, I've got a crib sheet here. Jacaranda broccoli, that's it. It's a purple broccoli. Christmas potatoes. That's Nicola. 2 buckets of Nicola. A little bit waiting to go in the end there. Probably be onions again. Kohlrabi. And cabbage Maribel. More onions. Paris whites again. Paris earlies. Cauliflower triumphant. And it's just a dumping ground at the moment because I'm working. Beetroot Zeppo. Brilliant. And then the veggie bags at the end, I got celery, radish, and carrot Amsterdam, I believe. And this was the brassica cage. And what I've done, I've taken the cage off because I couldn't get under it. So in here we got broccoli, Brussels, all sorts. Got a bit of a whitefly on there, as you can tell by the black muck. I better give that a spray before I leave today. Going to spin you around over here. Now this frame, I've got the pea sticks against it at the moment, so it's a bit of a mess, and the old nets. This had everything in it, or has everything in it. It's got corn, sweet corn, tomatoes, courgettes, squashes, butternut squash down there. It's all sorts, and it's all growing well together. And there's my runner bean frame made of hazel sticks. They ain't going to blow over. This site used to be called Windways, and it's aptly named because I tell you what, the wind blows up here. And these ones this side, they're my long runners. I've taken the longest ones off now. Longest one was 26 inches. So I'm just waiting for a few more rows to dry out, and I'll be picking those. Messy bed, that's just waiting for onions and shallots. What we got in here, a bit of stroach on it, so it's obviously a brassica. Oh, cabbage tundra. More kohlrabi, purple delicacy. Some Swedes at the end. Mini popcorn. I probably ain't gonna bother with corn next year. You can't really see it at the moment, but it gets so windy. I'm sure the pollen just legs it. It doesn't even do anything. Green sprouting broccoli at the front there, and all sorts at the back. turnips, beetroot again. Beetroot red ace, they're quite good actually. Cabbage Savoy, Ventus, that's very good. I got to get some of those dead leaves off before I go. Dead leaves encourage the old slugs and things. And on the end here we got Herba Stella. Buck's Horn, is it called? God, is that? It flowers and it's nice. It's nice in a salad. It's somewhat different. You wouldn't have a whole salad of it, you know what I mean? You could tell what family it's from, can't you, by the flower? The plantains, look. And it cut them off and they're back again tomorrow. All the cosmos has blown over in the winds we had recently, so half the beds are covered at the moment, but I just don't want to take it off because look at the bees, look. Lovely, lovely. I'll show you the beehives in a minute. What else we got? Cauliflower Dexter, cabbage Madeleine at the back, and cauliflower Alschmere in this one. And a little bit of a spare kale at the front. Well, there's the beehives, look, on the bank between all the allotments. There's about one, two, yeah, there's about 4 on each level, so what's that, about 12 hives. It's great. Little story about bees, honeybees anyway. When they go foraging, they only go to one type of plant. So, like for now, they'll go to, say, the chamomile or the cosmos, but they won't mix the two up. They'll go back to the hive, and next time round, they'll visit a different plant if they're going to.
There we go. Another fantastic video. Thank you so much, Digwell, for that. What a lovely looking plot again, and so packed of produce at this time of year when a lot of people are saying they're winding down or potting their allotments to bed, which I always think is a bit of a funny thing to say because, well, everything grows all throughout the year. Right, let's quickly go over the comments before we close up this evening. Over the last couple of weeks, I found it. Oh no, we've done that one. I only set myself one task to do at a plot. If I do any more than that, it's a bonus. Yeah, it's not a bad idea either. I try and do a similar sort of thing. I know what I want to do on the allotment, and I try and get it done. Tips for next week: I buy large wooden lolly sticks to use as plant labels. I use heat iron to write on them so you can use them time and time again. I also always use paper pots and just drop the whole thing into the ground. Yeah, fantastic. So keep those tips, or think about your tips for next week. If you can do a video, if you can do a photo, even better. Great plot, dig well. Rebecca says cracking plot. Oracle Odds allotment says brilliant. Packed with crops, fantastic. Lovely Cosmos, fantastic plot. I've absolutely loved these videos tonight. So inspirational. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Yes, thank you to everybody that has shared, and please do feel inspired to keep making more videos to send in. It really does add a different dimension to the show. That Cosmos is stunning. I need that. What variety is it again? Yeah, and Anna Jones is saying lovely Cosmos. 2 fab plots, Digwell from Beatrice. Absolutely. Thanks all. The Digwell is saying brilliant to see all the plots. Well done, everyone. For those that asked, Cosmos Xanthos. It sounds like it's a Greek name with that. I have some cabbage seedlings in loo rolls to go in soon. Yeah, I've got some cabbage seedlings and things like that to go in soon as well. I've just got to go out and get it done. Love to see more plots on the show. Yeah, I would too. I would love to see more plots on the show. And because I think tonight's show has been so successful, I think we will revisit this every 3 months type thing. In order to try and keep this sort of momentum going, and show us off your plot sort of scenario. But obviously, in the meantime, don't feel you have to wait for every 3 weeks. If you can do a plot tour or anything like that, show off your allotment. You might have a plant that you really absolutely love or you want to talk about. You might have a recipe or something like that. Please do send your videos in or photos in as well. I know some people are a bit afraid of videos. Don't be. I think we're a friendly lot here. And I think we're all quite inspired, or we're all quite motivated each other. I do not intend to have much bare ground this week. Like myself, the only bare ground I want to have is where I'm building things or converting things. Any bare ground, if I'm not growing crops in it, I'm growing green manures in it. That's my philosophy. Love to see the plots in summer. Yes, we will get them into summer, spring, summer, autumn, winter. I think that's all we can do. We'll call this the autumn one. I think we can do more in where would 3 months' time be? January, then again in April, and so on. But like I say, in the meantime, please do send other ideas and stuff in. Pick up some great ideas seeing other people's plots. Brilliant. Yeah. Exactly right. And this is where I feel we can go with this show. Right, I'm going to start wrapping up. We've got about a couple of minutes to go. So thank you so much to everyone for joining me tonight. On the podcast this week, the audio podcast, we are going to be discussing how to grow garlic and onions. I will be getting the video out again this week. It is mostly recorded. I've been the last 2 weeks, what with the new puppy and the building work, I haven't been able to make a video, and I've only just put my office back into built my office back basically. Which is why there was a bit of an echo on the podcast on Monday, because my office is all over the place. So yeah, the videos will return this week. Next Sunday, we will be discussing, as I said, cost-saving ideas, things that you do to save money on your allotments. Could be anything that you have in mind. There's a few ideas already coming in, but please get your thinking caps on. Get ready to share more of them. Right, let's wrap up the comments. Digwell saying, good idea with seasonal plot visits. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. So please do feel, I think that's going to be a good one to do. Really enjoyed tonight. Not to say that I usually don't. No, I've really enjoyed it tonight as well. I haven't had to do as much work in some ways, and my throat doesn't feel as sore tonight. Thank you, everyone. It has been great seeing your plots. It really has been great. Have a great time at Turbo Stream. Oh, that's because I might be absent for a couple of Sundays. I might be off in my camper van somewhere if the weather plays ball. Well, have a good time. Have a good time of your camper van. And if you visit any veg gardens, do a little video to show us when you come back. Stuart Jackson, this week's show was great. I love seeing everyone's plots. I will do a video soon. Adrian also says, good program tonight. Good night, all. It's been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so pleased with how tonight's show has gone down. I think we've all had a good time. We've all been inspired. And I can't wait to get back out in the garden now. That's all I can say. Thank you to everyone that sent in your videos. Thank you to Ian. Thank you to Digwell. Thank you to Amanda. Thank you to Stephen. Thank you to Turbo Stream. Thank you to Rebecca. All your videos have been absolutely fantastic and have been really well received. We'll be back again next Sunday. Until then, please take care.